Hello, this is David Newsom. I'm very pleased to present this short briefing as part of a Google Hangout with Steve Pepper on the Food Information Regulations 2014. Now, just to recap quickly on why the new law was introduced back in December of 2014, with around 2 million people having a designated food allergy in the UK, and some of these being very serious with some fatalities each year. The continuing cause for the biggest problems is still the fact that customers eat food that they believe didn't have the allergen in when it actually was there as an ingredient. It's a European regulation, and so we're obliged to comply with it, but many of us in the UK feel this is a good step forward to protect the allergic customer. In terms of the scale of the problem, one only has to look at the Food Standards Agency's figures of the reported hospital admissions, which are believed to be due to a food allergy, to see it's a rising problem. In fact, it may well be that there are a variety of reasons why these figures are going up, but whatever the reasons, it's certainly a growing concern. And of course the risks can be incredibly serious. Incidents like these, which actually lead to death, are very distressing both to the families and the businesses involved. Now, many of these cases revolve around undeclared ingredients and not trace amounts, and these are the very cases which the regulations are designed to prevent. And it's not just pure food allergies which are the problem. Intolerances and sensitivities to certain parts of food also cause hospitalization. Some food businesses are still not aware of the problem or don't fully understand the nature of allergens in food. Well, there are 14 specified allergens under the Food Information Regulations. Although there are many more in practice, these are the most common ones in Europe, and that is why they are the subject of the recent legislation. Some of these on the slide that you see will be well known to people, such as milk and eggs, nuts and of course peanuts, and fish and crustaceans, but less so things like sulfur dioxide, lupin. Celery often surprises many of the chefs that I've met, and of course the well-known one, gluten in cereals, basically because of the number of people who request gluten-free foods, and it's becoming quite a good customer approach to provide at least gluten-free foods if that can be done properly and correctly and with confidence. So, a reminder of the new requirements, which are that all food sold, displayed or served must have accurate information about the allergens available for the customer. Now, this can either be because the product is labelled, such as in pre-packed food, or in fact it could be provided verbally or on a list or a menu or a ticket. The regulations, of course, concentrate on accurate declaration of any of the 14 specified allergens for all food. And it's actually a very simple requirement, but it has raised many issues and questions. Please note that cross-contamination is not included in these regulations. That's already been in existence where serious cross-contamination occurs through existing food safety and consumer safety law, although it's fair to say the new Food Information Regulations do highlight the issue for cross-contamination control as well. So what are the challenges that's presented here? Well, here we are. There's a variety of them. From new legislation and new enforcement powers, and businesses needing new knowledge or skills. The proliferation now of different systems and ways of complying with the law, and increased requests and pressure from customers with food allergies who quite rightly expect better information now from everywhere where they go to eat. And one of the main challenges is for food businesses who exactly they should trust on giving advice and guidance. There are still some areas for clarification about just exactly what constitutes compliance. That's pretty typical in the early days of any new legislation. And of course the access to the training and the information. Some food companies have done very well to adapt their systems to comply already, notably the vast majority of manufacturers and many of the corporate chain restaurants. There are still residual issues, particularly those around languages, distance selling, and just what good practice means when determining the actual compliance with the law. as opposed to good or best practice. Compliance in smaller SME businesses is more patchy, but some of these are done well by biting the bullet using the FSA information and e-learning pack, or by using a reputable consultant who will ensure that the system used is suitable for the food operation. This is key. There's definitely no one-size-fits-all solution. In fact, here's a simple 7-point plan for any food business to ensure it moves towards compliance in an organised and professional way. Starting at the top here, with businesses need to fully understand allergens and their risk to the business. And then they need to make sure that they assess all their raw materials and their ingredients to find out which allergens are actually in those. And it can be as simple as reading labels, but it's surprising how many businesses have not done that as a regular practice. Then the business needs to make a decision to decide how to keep data on recipes and processes, and there are many ways of doing that. And then determine their labelling and information systems for keeping that effective and so their staff can use them. This of course means training of staff, whether it's internal training or external training, whether it's through a qualification or simply briefing. This again depends on the system and what is necessary. An ongoing requirement there to maintain records, especially records of incidents or records of allergen-free requests will be very useful, and keep the whole system under regular review as things change, as suppliers change their formulations, and as the incidents show where the defects in the system are that need improving. Well, that's a very brief update on where we are at the moment with the new food information regulations. I'm particularly looking forward to the discussion that ensues from this Google Hangouts presentation, or you can visit my website davidnewsom.com, where you can post questions, read continuing blogs about creative training solutions, including solutions for allergens, or you can email me at the same address, david@davidnewsom.com, for a continuing conversation. I now look forward to the Hangouts discussion.